Hi, I'm Sandy Genovese and welcome to the Ellison Education video series. Well, back to school time means bulletin boards. So we're going to look at a bulletin board today that replicates the look of a crossword puzzle. If you look at the one behind me, you can see, first of all, the title, Getting to Know You, up in the corner. I used the 3-inch alphabet for that. I used the 2-inch alphabet on these 2.5-inch squares, creating the crossword puzzles with all the students' names. And then down here, I just posted the across and the down clues that help all the students get to learn a little bit about their fellow students. Now, to start with, you want to start with the clues. So I would have each of the students write a little bit about themselves, and you'll see I took their information. I picked what I was going to put, what clue about each person. So for instance, I have that Damon can put together any type of puzzle. Or if I go to the sheet that has the girls, I have that Debbie finished 2 scrapbooks this summer. So little bits of information about each student is kind of fun, and then it's very cool. You go to the Discovery Education website and they make it super simple. You'll find up here on the menu selections, if you hover over Teacher, a drop-down menu will give you the choices. You want to scroll down, highlight, and click on Puzzle Maker. And when you do that, you get several choices. If you look here, I'm going to scroll until I get to the one that says crisscross, which is their word for what I would call a crossword puzzle. I click on that, and now it has a few fields that you need to fill out. One, what you want to title this. And then I'm leaving the fields that they've given me for the page size, and I'm leaving the field that they have already selected for the size of the squares that will print on the paper. You come down into this section here, highlight that bar, and then you're going to type in all your clues. For instance, I'm going to type in Eric, 1 space, and then the clue, loves to make model airplanes. For the next student, I'm going to hit return, and I'll type in the next name, Damon, a space, and then can put together any type of puzzle. Go to the next student, and just keep typing in all of the students' names and the clues. So now that I've typed in all the students' names and a clue for each one, all I have to do is go down here and click on Create My Puzzle. And like magic, your puzzle will come up along with the across and the down clues. If you don't like the pattern that you get or that you see on the screen, I discovered that it's really simple to just go back. While the clues are still in here, you're going to hit Create My Puzzle again, and it's just going to give you a different random configuration. And if you say, no, I'm not crazy about that one either, I'm going to go back again. I still have all my clues, all the students and their information about each one is typed in. Hit Create My Puzzle. This time I get something else. When you end up with the one you like, that's the one you print. Now, once you've actually printed out your puzzles, as I said, you have options. This format worked best for the size and the shape of my bulletin board. But if you look down here, there's lots of choices. For instance, if you had a bulletin board that was vertical rather than horizontal, this would be a perfect one. And once again, I didn't have to retype in the names or the clues. I just kept clicking on Create a Puzzle until it picked a format that I liked. Once you find one you like, be sure to print out lots of them, because once it's gone, it's random, it's gone. It won't come back. Who knows when you'd get that puzzle back again. So once you have your puzzle, if you look here, you can see that what I did was I went ahead and with a red pen, I filled in the students' names because I needed at this point to figure out how many of each letter I needed. So I went through and I counted the number of the letters that I needed as well as the number of numbers I need. If you look back at the puzzle, I want you to look at things. The acrosses and the downs are noted with these red stickers. I couldn't find red stickers in numbers that were a good size, so here's what I did. If you look back down here at the table, I just took a sheet of white stickers and a permanent marker, and I just went ahead and colored the white sticker to make it red, which then allowed me to be able to just peel it off and use it on each of the squares. Now to create the squares, that's easy too. I just cut out the number of letters that I needed, and I just centered each letter onto it's a 2-inch letter on a 2.5-inch square. And if it happens to be one of the squares that has a number on it, see, then you're just going to attach it like so. Super simple and super easy. Now, when it comes time to put it on the board, there's a few things I learned that I think will make it easier for you. The bottom row needs to be straight for the whole bulletin board to be straight. So what I did is I created spacers, and I'll show you what I mean. I placed a spacer along the bottom, and then I used this to make sure that every square that I staple to the board lines up with this black spacer. And I had one that went all the way across the bottom. I also took, because my squares are 2.5 inches, I'll bring this over and show you, I cut long strips that were 2.5 inches wide, and I used these for all the vertical straightening. So if I have to place this row here that says Tanner's name, by placing this, it helps me to see that all of these are positioned straight, and you don't end up at the end with a bulletin board crossword puzzle that looks like it's leaning to the left or leaning to the right. You know, if you want a great looking bulletin board that shares a little something about each student, why not try this student-friendly crossword puzzle?